What is going on, everybody? I go by the name of Curry, and I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on SneakerPhetish. All right, guys, another day, another Yeezy. Today, we are talking about an interesting version of the Yeezy 350 version 2 Boost that you may have actually seen before, or at least an iteration of it that looks very familiar. Without further ado, let's get into it. Boom. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is the ADIDAS Yeezy Boost 350 version 2 Yeshaya Reflective. All right, guys, we got a whole lot to talk about with this one, namely the history and the inspiration behind the shoe and what I think Kanye is really trying to get at in the messaging of this shoe. But without further ado, let's take a really quick look at it. I say let's take a really quick look at the shoe because, as you can tell, it looks exactly like the static 350 version 2 Boost. Really, the only difference here is the outsole. The upper is pretty much the same design in the exact same color as the static 350 version 2. You put this one next to the Citrine, even next to the Lundmark, and especially next to the static, and they all look incredibly similar. Now on the Yeshaya, there is no pull tab. This is one of those 350s that does not have that back tab on it. As I mentioned, this is the reflective version, so we will take a look at 3M in just a moment. Midsole on this one is a little bit cloudier than the static. It looks a little bit different here. It's almost a little bit more milky, but other than that, everything looks pretty much the same. 3M laces on this one, but if you look really closely at the stitching going down the middle of the shoe, you can actually see that it's a mint green color. That's a little bit different than other 350s we've seen before. This one looks mint green. Not quite sure where mint green comes in against this gray and this gum bottom, but there it is. Speaking of the outsole here, again, you have this gum bottom. It's got this really brown, almost worn looking color to it, but really nice. I like the way that it goes with the rest of the shoe. And as far as the insole of the shoe, you have this grayish color insole, and you have this really light, almost white colored Adidas Yeezy branding on the heel. All right, you guys know what time it is. Let's cut the lights out. Take a look at the 3M action on these. Boom. And there it is. That's the full 3M reflective action on the Yeezy 350 version 2 Yeshaya. You guys have seen reflective Yeezys before. You kind of know what this looks like by now, but in the meantime, this is what it looks like. I don't know about you guys. I don't know if I could actually ever wear a reflective 350 Yeezy. Do you guys wear reflective Yeezys if you own a pair? Sound off down below because the price is going down on reflectives at this point. So I know a lot of you guys are buying them up, but are y'all actually wearing these out? And that's pretty much it when it comes to the Yeshaya Adidas Yeezy Boost 350 version 2. Now, here's the story behind this shoe, and it's a kind of interesting one. All right, now the name of this sneaker officially is Yeshaya. Now, the name Yeshaya, again, another Hebrew name from Kanye that's actually derived from the Hebrew name Yesharahu. Now, Yesharahu is actually comprised of two parts of that name. Yesha, which means salvation, and Yahu, which means Yahweh, which means God. So together, Yesharahu or Yeshaya actually stands for God is salvation. But y'all know me, right? I got to take it a step further than that. So who exactly was Yeshaya? Well, the story is kind of long and pretty convoluted, but in the simplest terms I can tell you guys, Yesharahu or Yeshaya is actually another derived version of the name Isaiah. Now, for those of you guys not familiar exactly with who Isaiah was in the Bible, again, this goes back to the Bible days, Hebrew, Jewish, all that kind of stuff, right? It's Kanye we're talking about here. Jesus is king. Now, Isaiah was a prophet in the Bible, and if you follow the book of Isaiah at all, it's a pretty long book in the Bible. It actually follows the story of Isaiah as he was trying to convince people that God was the true salvation, God was the true image, the true deity, the true God that people should be worshiping. And unfortunately, a lot of people back in those days did not listen to him. Now, a lot of things that Isaiah said did end up coming to pass, but not before, like I mentioned, he tried to convince a lot of people not to follow the kings of the time. Now, that really got me to thinking. A prophet in the Bible that Kanye named his sneakers after that has a name that's loosely sounding like Yeezy, again, Yeshaya, all these YE names, Yeshiel, Yezreel, all these other names that have YE like Yeezy. I think all of this ties into Kanye feeling like he has a higher divine purpose out here that just so happens to sell a ton of sneakers and creating him a billion-dollar company at the same time. Because come on, if you don't create a billion-dollar company, are you really religious? But I digress. If you want my honest opinion, I think that Kanye sees himself a lot like Yeshaya or Yesharahu or Isaiah. I think that he sees a lot of himself in this person because of what he's doing with Sunday service and with preaching the gospel all across across the nation. He sees himself as that person that is trying to convince people to follow God, and if people don't do it, then they may experience a curse or something else that may be really bad that happens to them down the line. And hey, at least Kanye tried to warn you. He tried to convert you and tell you to follow God. But in the meantime, I know a lot of you guys are just interested in the colorway, and yes, it looks a lot like the Static 350 version 2. As a matter of fact, I always felt like it looked like the Static, but if you were to walk in it for a long time. And then of course I thought about, if a prophet spent all of his time walking around in the desert, that sand may be the color of the bottom of these shoes, preaching the gospel, would the shoe look something like this? Who knows? We never truly know what's going on inside of Kanye's mind, but when we try to put some pieces and hints and context clues together, we can come up with a pretty intriguing story about his inspiration behind these sneakers. All in all though, the Yeshaya is a good looking shoe. It's pretty decent, and the beautiful thing about it is that in its reflective or non-reflective version, prices are pretty low. So if you've never owned a Yeezy before, great time to get yourself a neutral color one that can go with a lot of stuff that you have to wear. But enough of me talking about this sneaker. Now it's time for you guys to sound off down in the comments and let me know what you guys think about the Adidas Yeezy Boost version 2 Yeshaya. Is this one that you added into your collection? Did you get the reflective or the non-reflective? And what are your thoughts? Do you think that the messaging behind the sneaker is somewhat on track, or do you think I'm totally off? Sound off down below. Let me know. Of course, write it down in the comments. Make sure that you click on that subscribe button so we can welcome you into the Sneaker Fetish family to make sure you don't miss out on any more heat that comes through like these, because I guarantee you I got a lot more heat on the way. As always, I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on Sneaker Fetish, taking a look at these with me, unboxing them with me for a couple of minutes. I go by the name of Kari. This is the Adidas Yeezy Boost 350 version 2 Yeshaya Reflective, and until next time, I'm out.